There is something essential you must understand. Spiritual alignment precedes material manifestation. This is not philosophy. This is not wishful thinking. It is a law. Just like gravity doesn't ask for belief, spiritual law does not wait for approval. It simply is. Many people ask for wealth, for money, for breakthroughs, but do so from a state of misalignment, from a place of fear, of desperation, of worry. And so what do they receive in return? More fear, more desperation, more worry. The energy you emit is the reality you attract. When you say, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," you're not merely reciting a verse. You are stepping into a spiritual frequency, one that doesn't chase, one that doesn't beg. It knows. It trusts. Now observe nature, the birds in the sky, the trees in the forest, the rivers that flow. None of these struggle to be sustained. They are not anxious about tomorrow. They are not competing. Why? Because they are in alignment with the source. Their rhythm is tuned to the divine. And so the psalm reminds you, "He makes me lie down in green pastures," not barren land, not wastelands, but pastures. That means provision. That means safety. That means a place where you are fed, protected, restored. If the earth can feed the sparrows, do you believe it cannot provide for you? If the stars are guided into position night after night, what makes you think your steps are not also seen and directed? The problem is not with provision. The problem is with perception. You must see with the eyes of faith, not fear. Because fear distorts vision. Fear sees closed doors. Fear sees no way out. Fear tells you, you're too late. You're not enough. There's not enough. But when you are in alignment, you step into what was already waiting for you. Not everything requires effort. Some things only require surrender. When your heart aligns with truth, your life begins to reflect truth. And what is the truth? I shall not want. These words are not naive. They are powerful. They are not a denial of reality. They create a new reality. To declare I shall not want is to shift your inner posture from begging to believing, from pleading to expecting, from a clenched fist to open hands. Because you are not designed to chase after life, you are designed to flow with life. And how do you enter that flow? Through alignment, through trust, through inner stillness. There is a reason the psalm says, "He leads me beside still waters," not chaos, not storms, stillness. Because in stillness you hear, in stillness you see, in stillness you receive. A restless mind will never perceive a spiritual door. A peaceful heart will walk through it effortlessly. So let your prayer not be "open the door," let it be "make me ready to walk through it." Because sometimes the door is already open, but the one who must enter it is not yet prepared. And this is why alignment comes first. Not action, not hustle, alignment. Because once you are aligned, the action becomes clear, the path becomes illuminated, and the door becomes visible. You see, spiritual alignment is not a theory, it is a force. It rearranges your thoughts, sharpens your focus, attracts the right people, and even moves circumstances in your favor. Not by magic, but by alignment. Think of a compass. If it's off by just a few degrees, it will lead you miles away from your destination. Your spirit works the same way. When you are misaligned, you take detours, hit walls, and suffer delays. But when you are aligned with faith, with truth, with divine timing, you move in flow. And in that flow, provision comes, wisdom comes, the right steps appear, the people you need are sent, the ideas come at the right time, because you are no longer fighting life. You are moving with life. Let others chase wealth through fear. You align with peace. Let others seek shortcuts. You stay grounded in trust. Because the wealth that comes through alignment is not only abundant, it is sustainable. It does not come to destroy, but to elevate. And so when you speak this psalm, do not rush. Do not repeat it mindlessly. Let it enter your being. Let every word become part of your breath. Let your mind slow down. Let your heart open. Speak it as a declaration. Speak it as an agreement. Speak it as a reminder of who you are and whose you are. Speak it as a reminder of who you are and whose you are. Because when you align with divine truth, you no longer wait for doors to open. They begin to open on their own because you are already in the right place.
Let us continue. There is a reason fear dominates so many lives, not because fear is strong, but because faith is weak. Most people do not realize that faith and fear are rooted in the same place, belief. Fear is belief in what could go wrong. Faith is belief in what will go right. Both are unseen, yet both shape what you experience. The difference is in where you place your trust. You can be praying, hoping, speaking, yet still be ruled by fear. And if you are ruled by fear, then your actions, even your prayers, carry the energy of desperation. They carry tension, not trust, worry, not worship. And this is why many speak words of faith. Evolution always is. When you declare the words, "Even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil," you are not pretending the valley isn't there. You are simply choosing not to be afraid of it. This is power. This is clarity. This is the shift from survival to sovereignty. You are not meant to walk through life afraid. You are not created to shrink. You were not designed to serve fear. You were given breath, awareness, and will, not to merely exist, but to walk boldly in the direction of your calling. But fear robs you of that. Fear whispers, "What if it doesn't work?" Faith says, "What if it does?" When you understand this, you begin to take back control of your inner world. The world around you may still look uncertain. The numbers in your account may still look limited. The news may still speak of instability. But inside of you, there is a center that is untouched by all of this. That center is where your faith lives. And when you connect to it, everything changes. Most people react, but those who walk by faith respond. There is a calmness in their spirit. They are not shaken by delays. They are not discouraged by closed doors. Because they know deep within that they are guided, protected, chosen, and when you know this, fear loses its grip. You cannot serve two masters. You cannot follow fear and expect faith to lead you. You must choose. And this choice is not made once. It is made every day, every moment, every breath. When worry comes, you meet it with peace. When anxiety rises, you answer it with prayer. When doubt speaks, you remind yourself of who walks beside you. Because the Psalm says, "You are with me," that one truth, if you believe it, is enough to silence every lie. You are not alone, you are not abandoned, you are not forgotten. When you believe that, your actions begin to reflect that. And so do your finances, so do your relationships, so does your peace. Fear is loud, but faith is consistent. Fear shouts worst case scenarios, but faith whispers eternal promises. And when you train yourself to listen to the whisper, you begin to live above circumstance. You begin to act with courage, even when there is no evidence. You begin to give, even when the world tells you to withhold. You begin to speak increase, even when you're surrounded by lack. This is not foolishness. This is alignment. This is authority. This is walking by faith, not by sight. Understand, fear will always try to disguise itself as logic, as reason, as caution. But discern the voice behind it, because true wisdom is not rooted in fear. It is rooted in love, in trust, in divine intelligence. The same divine intelligence that formed the stars, carved the oceans, and set the seasons in motion. That same power walks with you. So the question is not whether the path will open. The question is whether you will walk it without fear. Whether you will trust the invisible more than the visible. Whether you will believe the promise more than the pressure. When you wake up in the morning, don't ask, "What if things go wrong?" Instead affirm, "Even if I walk through the shadow, I will not fear, because I know who is guiding me." This is not theory. This is practice. You must rehearse this in your thoughts, in your words, in your decisions. Each time you choose faith, the grip of fear weakens. Each time you trust, the spiritual path becomes clearer. And when the path is clear, the doors begin to open. You don't need fear to survive. You need faith to thrive. So walk forward not because the way is easy, but because you no longer walk alone. Let us continue. There is something most people overlook. In the pursuit of wealth, they chase money, they chase outcomes. They chase timing, but in doing so, they bypass something far more powerful: peace. Because what good is money without rest? What good is success without stillness inside? True prosperity begins in the heart, not in the market, not in your bank, not in the world, but within. That is why the Psalm says, He leads me beside still waters, He restores my soul, before He prepares a table, before He anoints your head with oil, before your cup overflows, He brings stillness, He brings restoration, and from that place, everything else begins. Most people misunderstand peace. They think it comes after the problem is solved, but real peace is not the absence of pressure, it's the presence of clarity. It's the knowing that no matter what surrounds you, you are centered, you are steady, you are still. And when you carry that kind of peace, you change the atmosphere around you. You no longer react to life, you respond from your core. Your decisions become sharper, your voice becomes calmer, your mind becomes clearer, and in that state abundance begins to find you. Peace is not passive, it is a spiritual position, it is power under control. When you are at peace, you are no longer chasing, you are attracting. Opportunities come not because you force them, but because you are now in the right state to receive them. Think of a lake. When the water is stirred, you cannot see clearly. The surface is chaotic, and the depths are hidden. But when the water is still, everything becomes visible: reflections, light, even the smallest ripple. The same is true of your mind and your heart. When they are agitated, you miss what's already in front of you. But when they are still, you begin to perceive what was hidden all along. Peace clears the fog. It makes space for wisdom. It positions you to recognize the right doors when they appear, and the strength to walk past the wrong ones. People who lack peace often make desperate decisions. They invest emotionally. They speak impulsively. They settle quickly. Why? Because they're trying to fix the outside without fixing the inside. They believe a better job will bring peace, a bigger income, a new environment. But even if the external changes, the inner storm remains, and eventually that storm seeps into everything. But those who have peace carry it into every room they enter, and where there is peace, there is power. Your peace is not separate from your financial reality. They are connected. Because wealth is not just about how much you hold, it is about how much you can handle. Some people receive increase, but cannot hold it because they lack the character, the focus, the discipline that only peace can provide. But when peace governs your soul, you manage what you have with wisdom. You see increase not as pressure, but as purpose. The Psalm says, He restores my soul. Restoration is not just healing, it is alignment. It is a returning to original order. When your soul is restored, your decisions become aligned with truth. And when your decisions are aligned, your outcomes shift naturally. Money is attracted to peace, so are people, so are divine connections, because peace makes people feel safe. It builds trust, it opens space, and in that space the right things begin to enter. So every morning, ask yourself not what must I do, but what must I return to? Can you return to stillness before the world pulls you in 100 directions? Can you sit beside still waters before running into the noise? Can you protect your peace like your life depends on it? Because in truth, it does. From stillness, ideas will come. Not noisy ones, but divine ones. From peace, direction will come. Not rushed plans, but clear steps. From inner calm, strength will rise, not brute force, but the quiet resolve that sees the storm and still walks forward. This world will always try to hurry you. Fear will always try to rush you. But peace is never in a hurry. Peace knows, peace trusts, peace waits with wisdom and moves with precision, and because of that, it never misses its moment. Do not let the outside noise dictate your pace. Let the inner silence shape your path, because from that place of peace your prosperity will flow. Asterisk, and when it comes, it will not shake you, it will settle you. Asterisk, let us continue. There is something deeply misunderstood in this age. People crave miracles but avoid discipline. They desire breakthrough but resist the process. Yet what few realize is that consistency asterisk is asterisk the miracle. Repetition done with intention becomes transformation. A seed watered daily will always grow, not because the act is dramatic, but because it is asterisk faithful asterisk. This is why the psalm is not something to be spoken once, in desperation, and forgotten. It is something to be lived with, sat with, spoken into your mornings, whispered into your evenings. When the words of truth are planted repeatedly, they begin to shape your thoughts, your posture, your expectations. And slowly, silently, your reality follows. When you say asterisk, the Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. Asterisk, once it is a moment. When you say it every day, it becomes your identity. That is the power of consistency, not in volume, not in emotion, but in faithful practice. Small acts, done steadily, shift your internal environment. And when the internal shifts, the external must follow. Look at nature. The river doesn't carve through stone in a single burst. It shapes it through steady flow. Day after day, without rushing, without fear, it moves. The sun doesn't blaze all its light in one moment and vanish. It rises with rhythm, returns with reliability. Even the breath in your lungs, rise and fall, day and night, is a reminder of divine order, divine rhythm. So then, why do we think that spiritual growth, that financial transformation, must happen all at once? Why do we chase sudden results, but neglect the habits that hold the blessing in place? Because the truth is, discipline is quiet. It is not exciting, it is not loud, but it is what builds endurance, and endurance is what builds capacity. And when your capacity grows, so does what you are able to receive. You see, doors don't just open to the bold, they open to the asterisk ready asterisk. Consistency is what makes you ready. It sharpens your discernment. It strengthens your patience. It deepens your faith. And over time, it separates the ones who merely desire from the ones who are asterisk prepared asterisk. The reason we return to the psalm each day is not because God needs to be reminded. It's because asterisk we asterisk do. We need to remember that we are guided, even when we can't see the path. That we are provided for, even when we don't see the evidence. That we are protected, even when we walk through shadows. Because consistency builds memory, and memory builds identity. Think about this when you hear the words, asterisk, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life. Asterisk, what happens when you repeat that each morning? You begin to expect mercy, you begin to look for goodness, and over time your expectation becomes your experience. Not because life has changed, but because asterisk you asterisk have changed. Some mornings, the words may come with ease. Other days, they may feel distant. Say them anyway. There is power in showing up when you don't feel like it. That's when faith is being trained. That's when spiritual roots grow deep. And deep roots are what keep you standing when storms come. Discipline is the soil of miracles. Without it, even the best seed will never grow. But with it, even the smallest seed becomes a harvest. This is not about being perfect. It is not about having no doubts, no delays, no distractions. It is about returning. Again and again. Choosing stillness again. Choosing faith again. Choosing truth again. Because each time you return, your spirit grows stronger. Your alignment becomes deeper. Your awareness becomes sharper. We do not speak the psalm to manipulate results. We speak it to align with reality, the higher reality that already exists, the one where provision is promised. Peace is present, and doors open not by force but by faith. And when you live in that rhythm, miracles no longer surprise you. They become normal, not because they are less sacred, but because asterisk you asterisk have become more stable. You've been prepared through the discipline. You've been shaped by the practice. You've been trained by the consistency. so do not underestimate your daily choice. The choice to speak truth, the choice to believe even when nothing changes, the choice to return to peace when fear rises. That choice, small as it may seem, is what creates spiritual momentum, and momentum moves mountains. In the end, it is not about how loudly you speak, but how consistently you return, because what you do with discipline, God multiplies with grace. And when you stay faithful to the practice, the doors that once seemed closed will open not by force but by flow.